What if your smartphone could fold itself into your pocket, no hinges required? What if bridges repaired their own cracks, and furniture reconfigured itself for every use? These are not fantasy. They hint at programmable matter, materials engineered to change shape, color, or function on demand. Today we'll unlock the secrets of shape-shifting alloys, smart polymers, and self-assembling gels. Stick around. By the end, you'll see why programmable matter could rewrite manufacturing, medicine, and everyday life. But first, what exactly do we mean by programmable matter? How can a solid object behave more like a living organism? And what breakthroughs brought this frontier from lab benches into real-world prototypes? These questions drive engineers, chemists, and designers around the globe. Prepare to dive into atoms, 3D printers, and the future of materials science. At its core, programmable matter blends hardware and software, but at the material level. Instead of code running on chips, the code is embedded in molecular structures. Change the environment, heat, light, magnetic field, and the material follows pre-programmed instructions. This idea emerged from computer science's Claytronics vision and material science's shape memory research. Claytronics imagined tiny robotic atoms that assemble into any object, pixel by pixel. While full atom swarms remain years away, shape memory alloys showed us a powerful proof of concept. These alloys remember a preset shape and snap back when heated. Meanwhile, polymers learn to fold when exposed to water or light. Layer by layer, researchers built dynamic materials that react precisely and reversibly. To understand these capabilities, we next explore shape memory alloys, metals with a mind of their own. Imagine bending a metal wire into a loop, and then watching it straighten itself again with a flash of heat. No tools required. That magic happens with Nitinol, a nickel-titanium alloy discovered in the 1960s. At low temperatures, it's soft and malleable. At higher temperatures, it returns to a memorized shape. This transformation relies on a crystalline phase change deep within the metal. In its martensite phase, it's ductile. In the austenite phase, it's rigid. Heat triggers the shift, and the material snaps from one structure to another. Engineers use tiny Nitinol stents that expand in arteries when warmed by body heat. Aerospace designers test self-deploying antennas that spring open in orbit. Even eyeglass frames can adjust shape in response to temperature. But Nitinol isn't alone. Other nickel, titanium, copper, and iron-based alloys offer similar capabilities. Researchers now tune transition temperatures by tweaking composition. This lets us program activation at body temperature, at room temperature, or at 500 degrees at sea. Shape memory alloys shine as actuators, materials that both sense and move. They demonstrate that even metals can behave like soft robotics. Next, let's look at 4D printing, where 3D printed objects transform over time. 3D printing gave us static parts. 4D printing adds the dimension of time. Here, printed polymers change form when triggered by water, heat, or light. Imagine a flat sheet that folds itself into a complex gear mechanism when wet. That magic emerges from printing multiple materials in precise patterns. Each material expands or softens differently in response to a stimulus. So at the right time, the part morphs into its functional shape. Researchers at MIT and ETH Zurich printed vascular stents that expand inside blood vessels. Others printed building facades that open and close to control light and ventilation. These smart prints rely on hydrogels, polymers that swell in water. By varying cross-link density, engineers program which regions bend or stretch. Light-activated inks introduce remote control, letting you trigger shape change with a laser. This field grows fast. Clinics, factories, and architects all watch for new breakthroughs. But to power liquid-like motion, we need even softer materials. That brings us to hydrogels and their role in soft robotics. Hydrogels are networks of polymer chains that absorb massive amounts of water, sometimes 90% by weight. They can swell dramatically in response to pH, ions, or temperature. This swelling generates forces strong enough to actuate tiny grippers or pumps. Scientists created soft robotic grippers that pick up delicate objects simply by dipping in hot water. Other hydrogels mix magnetic nanoparticles, letting you steer them with magnets. Imagine a soft robot that crawls like an inchworm, guided by a handheld magnet. Researchers even 3D print hydrogel lattices that fold into 3D structures autonomously. In medical trials, hydrogel capsules release drugs on demand based on local pH. This smart release could revolutionize targeted therapies. Yet hydrogels can be slow to react. So hybrids with elastomers and shape memory polymers balance speed and strength. The ultimate goal: fully biodegradable robots that perform tasks and then dissolve harmlessly. Soft robotics pioneers see a future populated by squishy machines that adapt seamlessly to human bodies. Programmable matter extends our definition of what machines can be. But how close are we to real-world products? The next segment reveals surprising applications. From self-healing airplane wings to adaptive furniture, programmable matter prototypes abound. In 2019, Airbus tested a wing section with embedded shape memory wires that healed small cracks. Construction firms prototype 4D printed building panels that adjust sunlight throughput seasonally. At home, designers envision cabinets that expand storage space when triggered by a smartphone app. The medical field moves fastest. Dissolvable stents, drug-releasing implants, and shape-shifting sutures. In robotics, soft grippers handle fruits and eggs without bruising, harvesting produce more gently. Underwater, shape-changing drones alter their hull to glide through coral without damage. At MIT, teams built a hydrogel-powered swimmer that mimics jellyfish propulsion. Consumer electronics could see foldable smartphones that wrap around your wrist at night. Clothing may become adaptive. Jackets that tighten when cold, cool when hot, without batteries. Even art is embracing programmable inks that change color with touch or temperature. These prototypes hint at a world where products literally evolve to fit our needs. But to accelerate adoption, we need community support. So hit like and subscribe. If programmable matter ignites your imagination, tap that like button now. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into the materials and technologies shaping tomorrow. Share how you'd use shape-shifting materials in space, medicine, or everyday life. Comment below. Which demo blew your mind the most? Ring the bell so you never miss an innovation alert. Join our Discord to discuss ideas with fellow makers and researchers. Your engagement fuels our mission to bring cutting-edge STEM to everyone. Let's build the future of material magic together. Now, let's zoom out and explore the philosophical and societal implications. Programmable matter blurs the line between passive objects and active machines. When your desk can reconfigure itself, what becomes ownership? If implants heal themselves, where do we draw boundaries between body and machine? Could entire buildings adapt in real time to climate and occupancy? These developments raise ethical questions about control, privacy, and sustainability. Recycling shape-shifting materials may demand new processes to handle complex composites. Yet the same adaptability could reduce waste by extending product lifetimes. At the frontier, researchers dream of matter that computes, senses, and repairs itself. Self-aware materials remain science fiction, but every breakthrough brings us closer. Imagine a world where your environment is as dynamic and responsive as a living organism. This vision challenges architects, engineers, and legislators alike. Collaboration across disciplines will be critical to harness programmable matter responsibly. Universities are launching interdisciplinary labs in materials, robotics, and ethics. Governments and industries must invest in workforce training for these emerging fields. The promise is immense. Safer infrastructure, personalized medicine, sustainable manufacturing. But the journey will test our ingenuity and our values. Programmable matter invites us to rethink what is possible and what we owe to future generations. Every innovation begins with a question. What if matter could think? Now you know the forces, the failures, and the triumphs shaping this revolution. Will you be among the pioneers who bring living materials to life, or the skeptics who guard against unintended consequences? Either way, the story is unfolding, and it's yours to influence. Keep questioning, keep experimenting, and stay curious. Because the future of matter is not fixed, it's programmable. Thank you for joining this deep dive into programmable matter. Stay tuned for more STEM adventures. And remember, reality is what we engineer. See you next time as we explore the next frontier of science. Until then, imagine, create, and let your curiosity reshape the world. After all, the material of tomorrow begins at the atomic scale today. Every discovery builds on the unexpected, the experimental, and the extraordinary. Programmable matter stands at that intersection of art, science, and human ambition. We're on the cusp of a new era, where matter obeys our commands and our dreams. The shape-shifting future is waiting. Will you help program it?